This is a brand new podcast I'm doing. I actually go by Raz. I'm doing a podcast called Uppity Negus, Negus. Let me explain the word Negus. I'll give you the definition of the word Negus. It is an African prince of Ethiopian descent. It's a sovereign word in Ethiopia. It refers to kings or emperors and rulers. It's actually a really, really good word. I want anybody to be misled and try to relate it to some word here in America or some N word here in America because the two are totally opposite. I used to do a lot of reading, especially African American culture back years ago, and I came across the word and I was like, I actually don't know what that means either. So I actually had to look it up years ago, and I actually think that's what the word was meant to be, and it just got transformed somehow here into America into a different slang because Negro and Negus is totally different. It's totally different, and I don't think you can change the slang from the word Negro. I mean that just wouldn't be the same. So I just think the slang actually came from the word Negus. I'm from a small town in East Texas, Southeast Texas, I'd say, a little town called Jasper, Texas. Born and raised. I had a great upbringing. My dad was the first African American deputy sheriff there, and so I had privilege to things that most African Americans in that town did not have, especially with my dad being a deputy sheriff, and I had a lot of privilege that some of the white kids had that other African American kids did not have, like going to rodeos and having reserve seats and getting pulled over by cops and not have to worry about them doing anything to me. And my mom was very strong. She still lives in Jasper. She actually used to write letters to the local Jasper newspaper, which was the Jasper Newsboy, actually telling white people in Jasper about themselves. So I grew up with a real intellectual learning about racism and what could be my future. Oh, well, I'm retired now, but I actually started after soon after high school. I joined the military and did a lot of traveling. I went to foreign countries, lived in foreign countries, came back and forth to Fort Hood, Texas. Once I left Fort Hood, Texas, I moved my family to Round Rock, Texas, with no relatives, no nothing. I just moved up blind, no job, no anything. But the first thing I did was get a job with the state because I know state gives you a retirement. So I figured that I might as well do it since I had top secret clearance and all sorts of things back then. Because I had to be somewhere where they was the state or federal government, and I had an opportunity to go to D.C. because of my federal clearance background. But I chose to come home anyway, and then that's how I ended up in Austin. First job was Texas Department of Transportation, just to get my foot in the door. Another job at the Texas Department of Transportation. Was there probably 3 or 4 years before I started moving up. Then I went from TxDOT to Texas Education Agency, which is one of my favorite because it opened the door to a lot of stuff. I used to be the manager of the STAR program. If you had kids, or you have kids now, you actually know what the STAR program is. A state of Texas assess, assessment of academic readiness. I controlled the $500 million contract, well, basically $1 billion because I did it for 10 years. And from there, I went on to Round Rock ISD, where I was the budget manager of grants, federal, state, local, and decided where the money went, where the money was spent. I mean, my total background is about money, budgets, and I'm a budget guy. I've been lucky because math was my favorite subject. So I kind of fell into my career doing what I love to do. And from Brown Rock ISD, I returned back to Texas Education Agency because I was requested back, saying I was a budget manager in TEA did the fiscal notes for legislative sessions. That's one of the reasons I had to get out because the legislative sessions was 24 hours on call. It was stressful, and being in the military, I did the stressful stuff too, working for 4-star generals, 3-star generals. So I was like, I don't really want to do this again 24/7. Always been on call as state representatives, uh, state congressmen, and I just wanted to, well, let's go ahead and retire. But before I retired, I went to General Land Office, doing the Veterans Lands Board managing all sorts of veterans homes, veterans hospitals, just so making sure that veterans had everything they need. Being a veteran myself, like I said, I really enjoyed that one also. Prior to the general land office, I was at the Department of Family and Protective Services, doing child protective services, managing the funds where those monies went to, and how we spent them with trying to protect the children, and we also adult protective services. Yes, you can say niggas. It's a general word. Long as you say even say it like the Gus, the GUS is like Gus, Negus. I mean the NIGGA is totally different. Now that might be a little off limits, but the NIGA is totally different. But what can we expect? I want to open up an avenue for anyone to be able to talk about what's going on in society. I mean, whatever they think, whatever they feel, have an open avenue, open discussion. If you feel in your heart that you have to say it, or you feel like there's racism being done to you now or even 20 years ago, I want you to have an opportunity to say, hey, this is wrong. If you feel like you love Donald Trump, if you feel like you hate Donald Trump, I want you to be able to say anything that you want to say about anything without any repercussions. I don't want you having the fear for losing your job or anything like that. If you have to do that, you might not want to say it. Me personally, I have absolutely nothing to lose. There's absolutely no repercussions anybody can do to me. So this is more of a free will. I can say great things about Donald Trump. I can say bad things about Donald Trump. It's just some of the things that, especially like now with the DEI, with the rounding up of the Hispanics for sending them back. I mean, I want to be able to open up anybody's perspective to say what they want to. With this, yeah, with this uppity, I'm the uppity one. They don't, the guests that I will invite or in the comments, of course, I don't want to be responsible for what they say, but I'm pretty sure they're not going to say anything worse than what I think. I'm pretty sure of that. Yeah, just be prepared for anything, because a lot of people that be watching this that actually know me don't really. I would have to say they really don't know me, because if you still call me by my first name and not Raz, you haven't seen me in at least 30 years. I'm not that guy that most people remember from high school. I'm definitely not that guy. That guy's probably been dead for a long time, and Raz is what's left. He's a, he's a little rougher now. He's mean. He says what he want to. I've been told I hurt feelings a lot. My wife tells me that a lot. That I'm surprised my friends are my friends because the way I talk to them and the way I treat them. I just I don't think there's any gray areas. It's either black or white. Maybe I shouldn't say this. Either boy or girl. The truth is the truth. There's no need to lie about it. There's no need to persuade it. Yeah, it hurts sometimes, but it's still the truth. You just have to be told the truth. And I'm a big stickler for the truth. If you lie to me, we're done. I mean, I don't give people second chances. I cut them out of my life quick. If you're not gonna at least tell the truth to me, there's nothing I need you for. Period. So I've cut several people out of my life over the years. I mean, I have one cut out of my life right now. They're still trying to know. You stood me up. You didn't say you didn't do what you said you was going to do. We're done. Like I said, you get one shot. No, I'm just a stickler for the truth, and I don't know if it's the military training. I don't know if it's been moving around through the state or just reading all the books I've read. And this this is what's left. This is what came from all that knowledge. Well, yes, we could definitely. Sometimes I know too much about religion. I was born and raised. My mom, if she watches, she's gonna hate it. I was born and raised 7 days a week in the church, and I've learned everything from Genesis to Revelations. I read the Bible from first in the beginning to the very last page of Revelations. So I also studied Islam for a while. I call myself a Muslim about it. So I read the Quran. So I'm from cover to cover. So I'm a little more open to other things that you will see. I have a lot of, you're not supposed to question, obviously, but there's still a lot of things I question, or a lot of things I don't want people to listen too deep to me, because I will make you change gods if you really do the homework of what I'm about, what some of the things I say. I mean, I could just give you an example. I won't say what it is. Like what was Jesus' real name? I mean, there's just so much that the Christianity that I was raised with didn't tell me. But leaving the country, I mean, you have to look at America from outside to really get. To me, you have to look at America from outside to get a real view of what America really is, what America really stands for. I mean, just the simple things like, I don't know, Henry Ford didn't invent the car, but that's what we were told. But there was cars already in other countries. He invented it here. Henry Ford should have been just known for the assembly line instead of inventing cars first, because he really didn't invent the car. But like I said, looking at America from the outside, whether it's race, whether it's history, or whether it's politics, whether it's healthcare, the whole 9 yards, it's just you have to have an outsider. You have to go outside to see some of the wrongs that America does. And I've been outside a lot. Yeah. But I'm still here. So I came back. So what's like it? Contact me at Uppity Negus at yahoo.com. Uppity Negus at yahoo.com. I look forward to hearing from anybody that has questions. But expect the worst and you might get the best.